barren rock and ice remind you of a fleeting intuition, a flare up from the dark to tell you time's an arrow that does not miss its mark, and to tell you something more, what everybody knows. This is just another suit of clothes. This is just another suit of clothes.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to Club Passim. Thank you for being here for our Discovery Series Monday here, the second Monday of every month. We do a Discovery Series, and usually this time every year is when we honor the recipients of the previous year's Iguana Music Fund. We are so grateful to be here with you here tonight. A few announcements before we get started. We need to point out exits for you. We have an emergency exit up on stage. There's one back out the way you came in. We ask that you keep the aisles clear for Lina, who is working the room tonight as your server. How about a round of applause for Lina? We've got Kayla up at the box office. Alex is in the, Kayla's running the stream. Alex is in the box office, and Albero's in the kitchen. And we are thrilled to be back here once again, putting on music for you 7 nights a week. It's been a long, hard couple of years, but we're so grateful to be back in again 7 nights a week. We've got a lot of great things coming up. Make sure you grab one of the newsletters that's on the tables. That'll take you through the end of May. Visit passim.org. You'll see into June. We've got our Bluegrass and Old Time Festival down home up here coming up next weekend. We've got our Campfire Festival coming up over Memorial Day weekend, and all of the programming right here in the room. We do ask that you still remain masked here. There is the mask mandates for Cambridge have been lifted, but we are still masking here at Club Passim to keep things as safe as possible for our performers, our staff, and you all. So please be safe and keep masked when you're not actively eating and drinking. Please do not take flash photos. Take a moment to take your phones out and turn the flash off on your devices, as well as sound. And I know that there's a lot of people who are members here. If you've never been to Club Passim before, this venue has been around in Harvard Square for 64 years, and the last 27 as a nonprofit organization. We have the music venue, we have a school of music, we do community programming, we have our festivals, and we give grants to artists. The past couple of years, we've raised money through the Passim Emergency Artist Relief Fund. Through that fund, we have raised and distributed nearly $200,000 to help with pandemic relief for folks. And and something that we've been doing for the last 14 years now is the Passim Iguana Music Fund. And here to tell you about the fund, the person who curates it and manages it, Abby Altman.
Hi, folks. Welcome. Thanks for coming out to the showcase night for the Iguana Music Fund. As Matt said, this is a showcase that we do every spring to honor the recipients of last December's Iguana Music Fund grant. And before we get into your show for tonight, I want to give you just a little bit of history about the Iguana Fund and kind of what it's about and why you should also be excited about it. So the Iguana Fund was founded in 2008. We had some donors come to us and really want to make sure that their money that they wanted to give to artists was distributed in a way that was going to make the biggest impact in the community. And so one of the focuses of the Iguana Music Fund grant is not just to help a singular artist, but to try to identify projects where that money is going to have the widest impact across the community. And for the Iguana Music Fund, that community is the entire New England music scene. I'm not even going to say folk because we've given grants out to projects that people wouldn't even consider normally under the folk umbrella. So it's very exciting that over the last 14 years, we, through the Iguana Music Fund, have been able to give out over $500,000 to New England-based musicians. Yeah. And they're all small grants. They're grants anywhere from $500 to $2,000. So they're small, they're immediate, and they help people that extra push just to make sure that this project is going to be made. And projects range everywhere from someone's first studio album, which is really going to be the next step in their career, to providing grants for songwriting retreats so that artists can actually get away from their daily lives, make space for their art, and be able to continue bringing it back to us and sharing it with us as well. We've helped repair tour vans. We've helped get weatherize windows in a studio so that they can record in the winter in Vermont. There's a lot of different ways that we have been able to help the community, and tonight we're going to give you just a taste of some of those projects. So how the night is going to go is I'm going to talk a little bit, we're going to have some music, I'm going to talk some more, we'll have some more music. So I hope you are ready with your burgers and your beers for a night celebrating the iguana. I want to make sure that folks also had a chance to pick up these programs featuring the very noble iguana. His name is Leon. And in this booklet, you're going to find not just the program for tonight, a little bit more history about the Iguana Fund, but also descriptions of all of the projects from the last year. So last December, we gave out $40,000 in grants to 23 different artists, and you're going to find write-ups about each artist and project in these booklets. So if you didn't get one already, be sure to grab one on your way out. It also has their contact information so that you can continue to follow these artists and fellow artists that are in the room. I know there's a lot of recipients in the room tonight. Check these out too. There's very cool people in here. Introduce yourself to your neighbor. You might meet another cool artist that you wouldn't have otherwise. So I'm going to tell you more about the fund in a bit, but I would like to bring up our first act for tonight. He used this grant to record a series of singles, and then throughout the year, I believe it was one per month for a year, and then collating them into his first full album release. Please help me welcome up Chris Walton.
I'm really tall. Stage doesn't help either. That'd be fun to sit. Switch it up. Switch it up today. Check 1 2 1 2 3. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Guitar coming through? Cool. Like Abby said, my name is Chris Walton, and I'm going to play a couple tunes for you that I wrote off my up-and-coming first ever record. This one, thank you. It feels wild to say that because it's been a lot of work over these last couple of months, but this is the result of that. It always flows out of my mind in thick black lines that always go right to left, but letters have no meaning while I try to transcribe why the stars all lost their shine, and why I have lost my breath. The rhythm in my chest, the foolish heartbeats, one that once was torn. But when you're here, it's so clear to see. I didn't know before what it means to be wanted for what you've always been. And I've been a couple places I can't see myself replacing you, 'cause you're all I need. You're my everything and more. We were meant to be. Yeah, it's you. It's you. It's you. It's you, 'cause you're all I need. You're my everything and more, 'cause we were meant to be. Yeah, it's you. It's you. It's you. Thank you. Thank you all. I don't really have much to say. I'm so excited to be here. This is my second time playing this stage, and my first time receiving this grant, and I'm extremely thankful for both of those things. This next tune sort of came about when I was sort of realizing that I don't have to write a second verse to every single song that I play. And it doesn't always have to have a bridge with words. It can just be like a vibe. It's totally fine. So if any songwriters that are out there, if you're like, oh man, you know, I learned in school that every song has a second verse, this one doesn't. And a couple other ones on the record don't have a second verse. So join me in freedom. This one's called Soon. However, every live song needs an intro, so this is what this is. Regret over songs that haven't been pinned yet. Still I toss and turn at night, as we were never meant to fly. But maybe I can learn to glide and not just fall down. How we ended, still the talk of the town. What with the face that's jaded green, halfway in between happiness and jealousy. Oh, I seen it in the moon. It's coming from me, headed towards you. Oh, I heard it from the wind. A change is coming. A change is coming. Soon. Oh, I seen it in the moon. It's coming from me, headed towards you. Oh, I felt it in my bones. The shame it's growing. The shame is going on and on and on. I heard it from the wind. A change is coming. A change is coming. Oh, I heard it from the wind. A change is coming. A change is coming. Soon. Thank you. All right, that brings me to my last song of the evening. But thank you guys so much for, showing up and supporting live music and places that support local talent. And yeah, if you liked what you heard, you can find me on Instagram at Senator Fudge, because Chris Walton music was already taken. Thank you. I'm also working on my 15, my tight 15 of stand-up, so. Yep, and I also have some merch out front. I've got hats, I've got stickers. Stickers are free if you give me a follow on any social media, so. This one's called Changes, and it wouldn't be a proper singer-songwriter show if I didn't play something in 6/8, so this one's in 6/8. It's just long nights for me, 'cause I don't sleep well. It's been a few weeks on, but who have I got to tell? And I pour myself a drink just to wash away my woes. And mix it with my fingertip just to watch it go through some changes. We've been going through some changes. We're growing up and getting older. Seasons come and seasons go. As for the one thing I know, it changes you. Yeah, it changes you. I tried working out and getting stronger, moving on and getting over you. But I can't just turn around and pretend that we were something other than my rock. Oh, but even the mountains go through changes. I've been going through some changes. We're growing up and getting older. Seasons come and seasons go. As for love, one thing I know, it changes you. Oh, changes, changes. We've been going through some changes. We're growing up and getting older. Seasons come and seasons go. As for love, one thing I know, it changes you. Yeah, it changes. Thank you so much.
And before you run away, Chris, can you let us know, where are you in your project? When is that going to be coming out? Where can we find it?
Of course. So yeah, I am basically all of the tracks, the most of the work is already done. It's just a matter of mixing, putting in some extra background vocals. So we're looking to start releasing in July, and we're actually thinking about 2 songs per month.
Wow.
Up through January, skipping the month of December because
Yeah.
we got to take time off for the holidays. So yeah. Oh yeah, we're leading up to our first ever tour.
Woo! Yeah. Awesome. And so people, you should go follow him on Instagram at Senator Fudge so you can see when those new singles are coming out, when the whole album comes out, and when tour dates are announced. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Chris Walton. So in addition to Chris, we also have a couple other projects from this year that are our first-time professional releases. So in addition to Chris, also releasing their first-time professional mixed albums are Alita McKeon, CJ Redmouth, Owen Kennedy, and Owen Marshall. So there's a lot of new music coming out. It's very exciting. Some of those have already done Kickstarters that have been funded, in addition to some of the funding that they got from us. So it's exciting to see how quickly the wheels turn once we send out these checks to folks. So it's at least exciting for me. So awesome. So up next, we were going to have the Green Terra Project. Unfortunately, they had to drop out due to some last-minute health things. But I just wanted to give a shout out to Amy Bashara and Shyam Nepali. Their project is bringing together Amy's Celtic fiddle upbringing with Shyam's Nepali sarangi upbringing. Amy has been studying Celtic fiddle music over here for several years, went to visit Nepal to study their traditional music, and realized a lot of the similarities between these different styles of fiddle and thought that they would marry just wonderfully. And so when she came back to the States, she started working with Shyam Nepali, and they are going to be putting out this record that they talk of as a patchwork of human tradition. So keep an eye out for that. They are the Green Terra Project. Up next, we're going to hear a little bit from Kate Callahan. She was one of the state troubadours for Connecticut, and for the last several years she has been doing work at the York Correctional Facility. Please welcome up Kate Callahan.
Sure. Hello. Hi. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. And I'll start by saying, have you ever been so instinctively and intuitively connected to something that as you take steps to make that thing happen, when the doubts come in, or when the naysayers come in, or when the weird what ifs come in, you kind of just stay laser focused, and for me, that intuitive, instinctual laser focus got me in the door to York Correctional Institution in 2017. And so I'd had a years-long desire to work with inmates. I didn't know if I'd work with men or with women. I didn't know who would let me in their doors. But I started to work with the women at York Correctional a number of years ago and have been supported by the Iguana Fund for two of these projects now with the women. It's a really exciting, momentous kind of feeling to walk into a prison and then to walk out. I think the most kind of visceral moments I've had in the prison are those moments walking out. And I would get in my car every Thursday night. I'd spend 2 hours with the women. I'd walk out. I'd get in my car, and I wouldn't want to go anywhere until I had recorded, made a video diary of what had just happened in the room with the women. So every Thursday night I walk into this prison and I sit in a circle with women who are at once both hungry for emotional and spiritual and personal stimulation. They're hungry for it, and they're also terrified of it. And I title my program Vocal Empowerment, so it's called a Vocal Empowerment Program, and the women often, the first night that I walk in, Miss, I'm not singing, I'm not singing, I might not even speak, I might not even say anything. And so we start there. And we spend weeks together giving these women an autobiographical experience every week. So a moment in time to speak about who they are, to sing about who they are, to understand that their voice there's a complicated relationship for a woman in prison with her voice. In some ways it feels like a tool of empowerment, and in other ways they blame themselves for using their voice. Maybe it had some kind of effect on or impact on why they ended up behind prison bars. And it's really complex, and it's really nuanced, and it's really beautiful. This year, with this year's Iguana funding, I'm going to be working with a new set of women, and these women are 18 to 25-year-olds, so the young women in prison. And the goal is to reduce recidivism through programming like this. So thank you to the Iguana Foundation and the Iguana Fund, and congratulations to all of you who are sitting here, because you got to laser focus your way to something that was really intuitive and instinctual.
So you've heard from a couple folks. Maybe you've had a chance to page through the program and see some other projects that catch your eye. And you're wondering, how can you get involved? I'm here to tell you. So there's a couple things that you can do to help us keep going. I like to call it the ways you can feed the iguana. If you are an artist, or if you know artists, if you work with artists, please tell them about this fund. One of the great things about the Iguana Music Fund is that because it is fully funded by our donors and our members here at PASIM, we do not charge an application fee. We purposefully do that to try to lower the bar for entry. It's a pretty simple application. It's not going to take you a whole week and like a lawyer to figure out. So please spread the word. It is folks that are eligible are artists with a strong connection to New England. That can be a little fuzzy, so you can always email me if you have a question about that. But generally it means, did you grow up here? Did you go to school here? Is most of your touring based here? That applies to a lot of people, and we always need help getting the word out, because we want to be able to spread these funds around to as many folks as we can. And we have $40,000 every year to give out, so we're always looking for new voices to come in, or even folks that have applied in the past. If you have an idea for a new project, apply again. You can keep applying if you have new ideas for great ways to use these funds. Something else that you can do is you can donate to us. I know many of you here are members. You already donate to PASIM. Thank you. Your support does go into helping the Iguana Fund. But if you'd also just like to give a one-time donation, you can do that at pasim.org/support. On our donation page, there is a drop-down option to specifically support the Iguana Music Fund, or you can put it in this lovely box right here. So this is going to be out at the box office. If you would like to, do not feel pressured to, but if you would like to help, if you can help, please consider doing so. You can go online to donate. You can donate at the box office, or you can drop a few bucks in here. Everything that is collected tonight is going to be going into the Iguana Fund for the next year. So I hope you want to get involved. Those are a couple ways to do it. Also, as I said, take home the programs. Go check out these artists. Buy their music. Support independent artists directly. That is one of the best ways that you can support the entire music community. So even if you don't give to us for the Iguana Fund, go check out these artists and buy their music from them. Even if you only listen to them on Spotify, go pay for the album and then go back to Spotify. That's the best way to keep the music growing here in New England. All right, next up, we're going to have a couple representatives from the Know Better, Do Better project. Please help me welcome up Tom Smith and Kim Moberg.
Hello, friends. Okay. This is my good friend Kim Moberg, and I'm Tom Smith. We're going to talk about the Know Better, Do Better project and do a couple of songs. The project got its name from a Maya Angelou quote, "Do the best you can until you know better, and then when you know better, do better." And some of the things we're going to talk about are maybe a little difficult to talk about, but we'll try to keep it light. But first, let's start with a song. Have you ever been a-fishing on a bright and sunny day? Seen the little fishes swimming up and down the bay with their hands in their pockets and their pockets in their pants. And all the little fishes do the hoochie coochie dance. Turkey in the straw, ha ha ha. Turkey in the hay, hey hey hey. The June bug danced with his mother-in-law. Danced to a tune they call the turkey in the straw. I went to Pennsylvania and I went around the block. I went straight into a donut shop. I pulled 3 donuts out of the grease and I handed a lady a 5-cent piece. She looked at the nickel, she looked at me. She said, "This nickel's no good to me. There's a hole in the middle, it's all the way through." Says I, "There's a hole in the donut too." Turkey in the straw, ha ha ha. Turkey in the hay, hey hey hey. The June bug danced with his mother-in-law. Danced to a tune they call the Turkey in the Straw. Thanks for the donut. Goodbye. So that is a song that I learned from my Aunt Carrie, and she taught me how to play the ukulele while singing that song when I was probably 5 or 6 years old. And I have sung that song hundreds of times, maybe for thousands of children. And then one day, one of my fellow teachers said, "Tom, you should check the history of that song." And I looked into the history. I said, "Yeah, it's called Turkey in the Straw. It's had some other names, and these days it's often known as the ice cream truck song, because you'll hear that tune played on ice cream trucks around the neighborhood, calling children to get some ice cream sandwiches and popsicles. Started out in England, Ireland, 1700s came to this country, and then in the 1800s, it was taken over by black minstrelsy. And black minstrelsy had some lyrics in that song that are really awful. And when this teacher asked me to look and research, and I clicked on this link to listen to a 1916 recording of someone singing, N-word loves a watermelon, ha ha ha. N-word loves a watermelon, ha ha ha. And it didn't get better after that. And I couldn't unhear that. And I was so embarrassed. And it took a while for me to come to grips with the fact that, you know, I was singing a perfectly okay song. We all laughed, right? But somebody hears that song differently. And I was totally unaware of that. Well, fast forward a couple of years to 2020, and right in the middle of the first summer of pandemic, and some of the local songwriters around here, we decided we should get together and talk about how should we respond to what's going on with Black Lives Matter and all of the protests over George Floyd and all of the rest that was going on in the front pages. We talked for several weeks, had a lovely discussion group and interesting conversations. We decided we would research some of the songs that have contributed to, as songwriters, research them as songs that have contributed to systemic racism. And each of us decided to give ourselves an assignment. We assigned ourselves this assignment. Find one song that has contributed to systemic racism, a song that's sung commonly today, probably in schools that are part of curriculum or on stage. Research that song, find out what made that song popular, and write an alternative. What song made that popular other than the racist lyrics? What might be, you know, the rhythm, the rhyme scheme, the subject, whatever. And the assignment was to write an alternative that is a non-derivative alternative. You can't write new lyrics to the old melody. So we're going to do 2 songs from that project, and Kim's going to start us out.
If you're not familiar with the Know Better, Do Better project, knowbetterdobetterproject.com. I chose Disney's What Makes the Red Man Red from the Peter Pan movie. And it's racist for a lot of obvious reasons, but, you know, as an indigenous Native American from Alaska, to me, all I saw was a presentation of a monolithic kind of people. And the song itself is a lot of gibberish, you know, it doesn't have any real language whatsoever. So I've never written a children's song before, so I wanted to write one that made kids feel proud and want to stand up and be heard. And I am of the Tlingit tribe, and the phrase utkashi means to sing out. So that's the name of this song. It's called Utkashi. And the chorus is very simple. Maybe you'll sing it with me. Utkashi, Utkashi, sing to the trees, lift your voice to the top of the tree. Utkashi, Utkashi, sing it to the trees and imagine that you are a tree. Trees are home to so many beings, kangaroos, and birds and the bees, sheltering with their branches and leaves. They give us the air that we breathe. Sing out, Utkashi, Utkashi, sing to the trees, lift your voice to the top of the tree. Utkashi, Utkashi, sing to the trees and imagine that you are a tree. Connected by roots to share what they need, power is community. Ancient like the wind and as old as the breeze, belong to Mother Earth's family. Utkashi, Utkashi, sing to the trees, lift your voice to the top of the trees. Utkashi, Utkashi, sing to the trees and imagine that you are a tree. Just like you and just like me, there are differences you will see. Just like you and just like me, each one has its own beauty. Sing out, Utkashi, Utkashi, sing to the trees, lift your voice to the top of the trees. Utkashi, Utkashi, let's sing to the trees and imagine that you are a tree. Whether you're a birch or an evergreen, mighty oak or mahogany, a willow, a pine or a hickory, stand tall, be proud like a tree. Sing out, Utkashi, Utkashi, sing to the trees, lift your voice to the top of the trees. Utkashi, Utkashi, let's sing to the trees and imagine that you are a tree. Very good, very good.
I like that. Many. So, after we shared these songs with each other, we thought, these are pretty cool. Oh, should I do this? I'm plugging in. We thought we should share these with others. So we created a website, knowbetterdobetterproject.com, and we put them on the website, and we started talking with other songwriters, musicians. And now we have 16 songwriters who have each written song alternatives that inspired by a song with a racist past. And on our website, we have videos of each of these songwriters giving the backstory of the song, and some of them are very moving. Many of them are for children, but not all of them. And they perform the song. And they've given these songs to the project so that anybody could use them for whatever reason, except making money. And thanks to the Iguana Fund, we have now, we can pay our server fees for the next 3 years. And on this website, you'll find resources about old songs that have a questionable past. You'll find articles written about the ice cream truck song and other songs. You'll find resources for educators and support groups for people who are looking to change their curriculums or become an anti-racist. So I'll finish with this song that I did, which was inspired. I took the song Old Folks at Home. That's Stephen Foster's song. And this one is less in your face than What Makes a Red Man Red, and it's less in your face than, you know, the turkey in a straw racist lyrics. But it still has this message about how life was so great when we lived down on the plantation. And this song, Old Folks at Home, is still the state song of Florida. But to their credit, they took out the lyrics that have the darkies in it and other things. But still, people are hurt when they hear this song. That's the state song of Florida. So I decided that I would use that song. I used the same structure that verse, chorus structure, the same rhyme scheme, some of the same themes of home and so forth. And at the time, I was missing my twin grandchildren, whom I couldn't see because of the COVID. I'd never met them until they were 2 years old. And I thought, well, I'll write a lullaby for them. So here's a lullaby for our grandchildren to acknowledge some of the things. What would I say to my grandchildren if I had to acknowledge what was going on the front pages, but make them feel safe? Lay your head upon my breast, match your breath to mine, wrap your arms around my waist, sleep will come in time. Though the night is cold and dreary, you are safe at home. When the world is mad and scary, you'll not be alone. Cast all care away, my child. I am here to say, when it's time to walk through darkness, I'll show you the way. The bad things that some people do, you may not understand. Ask and I'll explain to you, or I'll tell you when I can't. This I know with all my heart, though it may seem far away. Light will always follow dark. I'll show you the way. Cast all care away, my child. I am here to say, when it's time to walk through darkness, I'll show you the way. I'll show you the way. Thanks, Passim. Thanks, Iguana Fund.
Tom.
Rookie mistake. Thank you, kid.
I love those projects where you can get involved too. Be sure to go check out their website, and if you have kids in your life, they're great videos to share with them too. New kid songs for the whole family. All right, so before we move on to our final live act of tonight, I just want to mention some Iguana recipients from this past year that are going to be performing at Passim soon, so you can come and see their music. On May 20th, we're going to have Honeysuckle. Yes, familiar to many folks here. They used to live in the area but are out in New York now, and we're excited to have them back. They got a grant this past year for a new studio album. They recently kind of had like a band lineup change, so their sound has changed a bit, and they're going back in the studio to record new music. And they're going to be here on May 20th. On May 2nd and 3rd, we're going to have the Sub Rosa Songwriting Retreat nights, some of our favorite nights of the year. So the Sub Rosa Songwriting Retreat, it's, how many people? Is it like 18 people that go to an island in the middle of New Hampshire and write songs every week in June, and then they come back here, usually in January, and share all of those new songs with us. And it's really how they can get away from their daily lives, write as much music as possible, or just listen to their friends, or just go on a kayak and detox from daily life. And it's always a fantastic showcase of what they bring back to us. So those Sub Rosa nights are going to be May 2nd and 3rd. And then on June 17th, we're going to have the Miles of Music after party. So Miles of Music is an annual music camp, both for adults and for families and for kids, on that same lake in Lake Winnipesaukee, on the same island in Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire. Every year for a week in June. That's how time works. They have this camp that has gotten so popular that they have to have a lottery now because so many people want to go. And again, it's a chance for folks to get away from their normal lives, to unplug. Everyone has to leave their cell phones in their cabins. There's some structured time where you can take classes with tons of awesome folk and traditional musicians, and then also just time to hang out and be there and just sit around a campfire and trade songs. So it's an incredible week, and then at the end of the week, they come back here and have the after party. So come back here for the after party on June 17th for the Miles of Music camp. Speaking of songwriting retreats and getting away, our final project for tonight is put together by 3 songwriters who are also forming their first retreat. And please help me welcome up Lisa Bastoni, Corey Laitman, and Naomi Sommers.
You're being practical. Wait, no, I think I'm going to use this one. Yeah. This is
We'll
our
get
formal
there.
presentation.
So I'm supposed to talk now. Is that how this works?
Yeah.
Kate Callahan, where are you? Hi. I haven't seen you in so long. I owe you a hug. I'm really just so honored to be a recipient of one of the grants this year. I'm not a nurse or a doctor or a grocery store worker or anybody who was really on the front lines during the pandemic, but as a mom, I found myself trying to figure out how to work, how to teach my kids, and how to just survive during the pandemic. And Naomi and I spent many hours on the phone just kind of daydreaming, like, wouldn't it be so great when this is all over, whatever that means, to just have a retreat somewhere where we can just go off and write songs and like sit in a field somewhere and eat good food and talk about music and remember our musical selves. And now this is actually happening. And so Naomi and I go way back. We had a band together called Gray Sky Girls, and we've spent a lot of time living far away from each other, so a lot of our friendship is over the phone. Naomi lives in Ithaca, and so through the past many years, we've been just keeping in touch over the phone. And Corey and I feel like we just were kind of starting our friendship right before, I think you came over for brunch on like March 8th or something, and then everything shut down. So there's this feeling of like, I really would love to spend some time making music together and getting to know each other. And so that's how we all kind of connected through this idea of having a songwriting retreat. Is there anything else that I should say at this point? I don't know.
What did you describe the retreat a little
Oh,
bit?
the retreat, yeah. Well, maybe I'll talk about the retreat more after I play a song. So maybe I'll play a song and then we can all kind of talk more about where the retreat will happen and what it will be like and all that stuff. So, speaking of our long distance friendship, I'm going to play a song of Naomi's that has really kept me company over the years. It's one of my favorite songs, and I've played it to myself to help myself feel better in California, in Texas, and like all the various places I've moved and then regretted moving. And I had a guitar pick with me, but
Oh wait, I have one.
you have my.
No, it's not yours.
Oh,
but
I'll use that
you
one.
can
Thank
have
you.
it.
All right. What a friend. You are up to the top of the hill. You can see the next hill from there and look down on the rooftops below. Turn back when it's time to go. You are calling the names out loud of all the friends who let you down, saying, look how high I am now. I made the top of the hill somehow. You saw every road you walked with clear eyes. You bet every dime you had on the endless skies. You left everything you loved with no goodbyes. You made every fool's mistake, but now you are wise. There's the girl who left you behind because you could not read her mind, and another you tried to keep. You still talk to her every night in your sleep about how you can't stand growing old. How could she have left you so cold? And look how much better you are. It took some time, but you climbed so far. You saw every road you walked with clear eyes. You bet every dime you had the endless skies. You left everything you loved with no goodbyes. You made every fool's mistake, but now you are wise. You're up to the top of the hill, and your body's as strong as your will. But the hardest part is the descent. Keep your back straight and your knees bent. So proud that you made it alone. Walking through the great unknown. Who cares that it's been done before? This is your boat, and you found your shore. You saw every road you walked with clear eyes. You bet every dime Thank you.
Should we go down? Okay. We are all going to sing a song written by the next person over in this round. So I'm going to sing a beautiful song that Corey wrote, and Corey's going to play guitar because the guitar part was a little too tricky for me. And this is a song that as I was learning it, I loved it even more, just getting to know it better. And it's called Whistling.
Mhm.
So. Yeah.
Corey, are you plugged in? Sorry.
I believe so.
I'm
Am
so
I
sorry.
plugged in? Can you hear me? Oh. You can't? Oh, interesting. Okay. Now you can? Oh, great. Okay.
All right.
That was easy. Take two.
Okay. One. Kettle song on a lilac morning. Feeders full and the birds are swarming. And my coffee's thick and my dreams are close, but they're pulled away in some undertow. So I tune my ear to the hum and listen. Something wakes in my body whistling. Sunday ambles a dreamy walker. Kitchen tulips got sunrise in her mouth. My world is small, but my joy is not, 'cause my baby makes me laugh a lot. Soon as I've gone mad with the grasses glistening, he walks in through the kitchen whistling. He whistles, ooh, 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 ooh. My heart has soldiers, they're rooftop snipers. Any praise approaching me lands like fighting words. 'Cause I'm small inside, but I'm also big, like a massive oak, like a brittle twig. Anyway the wind blows, my heart keeps learning how to live with the freezing burning.
Thanks, Mark. Hi. Hey. It's so special to hear one of your songs sung by somebody else.
I know
Yeah.
it is.
We were just talking about that in the car. We were practicing on the way up the 2-hour ride from Western Massachusetts. I'm going to play a song of Lisa's that I think is so amazing. I think I can do it.
It's going to be okay. It's called Dogs of New Orleans. Hanging in the air outside your place, clouds of sugar at a certain time of day, and all your neighbors' dogs come to your front yard. You can try, but you can't keep them away. Oh, the dogs of New Orleans, rolling over at your feet. I watched you fall into your knees to kiss the dogs of New Orleans. Would you forgive me if I stray? I've been lost and I've never felt so lonely. You don't have to take me in, but I could use a friend, and I was hoping that you might hold me. Oh, the dogs of New Orleans, rolling over at your feet. I watched you fall into your knees to kiss the dogs of New Orleans. There's a hole in your ceiling and a gun in your top drawer. You don't have to tell me, but what'd you do that for? What'd you do it for? Your tin roof trembles with the rain, and I know I can't stay, but I'm so glad I came, just to be by your side, happy to be alive and satisfied for the moment. Oh, the dogs of New Orleans, rolling over at your feet. I watched you fall into your knees to kiss the dogs of New Orleans, the dogs of New Orleans.
Wow. I don't think that's ever happened before. Thank you for playing that song. So I realized I forgot, I left out some really important information about the retreat, which is that it's not just the three of us. Because wouldn't that be funny if we're like, thank you. So it's going to be a total of about 15 songwriters. All of us are women or non-binary. And we're going to be gathering at a friend's place in Worthington, Massachusetts. Our friend Gabriel Unger just bought a venue, basically. It's like a retreat center and residence. It's set on 20 acres in western Massachusetts, where there's plenty of space to collaborate, or if people want to work privately, there's room for that too. And there's a performance space also, like a big room with an actual stage and lights and everything. So there's room for all of us to just unplug and create for a few days. And we'll be making meals together and having a little campfire each night. And I think that's, I can't remember if there's anything else I should tell you about, but we don't know yet exactly because it hasn't happened yet. But we're still planning it and really looking forward to it. So play another song. Nothing very fancy here. This is a song that Naomi and I had on our first album, Gray Sky Girls, and one of the things we've talked about is a Gray Sky Girls reunion album, which maybe we'll write some songs for that while we're in Worthington. Because this one is old. We could use some new ones.
Still sounds just
But I
as
still
good.
like it. That's not right. Sorry. The sun shines down your back porch stairs, shining on your overalls, shining on your greasy hair. Winter winds left this cold mess, but there's a wildflower melting something in my chest. Daisy, Daisy, open up and say you will. If you be my springtime, I will be your daffodil. No more sadness, no more crying. We'll make a crown of dandelions. April showers can't touch me. If I'm with you, well, I'm right where I wanna be. Daisy, Daisy, there's something in you glows. I don't need no cold, cold diamond, don't need no thorny rose. Daisy, Daisy, open up and say you will. If you be my springtime, I will be your daffodil. Daisy, Daisy, open up and say you will. If you be my springtime, I will be your daffodil. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I found my pick.
Oh, I don't want this. I don't want yours today. No, this is a nice, I like this one. Oh, I don't, no, I like this one.
See how you like
Good luck.
that one.
Oh. I'm going to do another vintage song of mine, and I wrote it when I was in college studying poetry, and I liked this poems by Langston Hughes. He wrote a lot of blues poems, and it's kind of, I also used to sing Bessie Smith songs in high school with my family band, so I really liked I love blues, but I liked the idea of the repetition of lines as a starting point for me to write, to start writing songs, or to sort of have a framework. So that's what I used as inspiration for this song. When I come to love you, you don't look me in the eyes. When I come to love you, you don't look me in the eyes. I'll be singing to you and dancing too, but I can't even catch a sigh. Your feet are planted on the ground, but your gaze is on the sky. Spouting words of wisdom, a leaky faucet that won't stop. Spouting words of wisdom, a leaky faucet that won't stop. I lost my wrench and it don't make much sense. Not one kind word will you drop. If you don't fix that leak, babe, I think I'm gonna need a mop. Gee, but it's hard to love you, babe, when I know you don't love me. I've been mistrusted, heartbroken too, like a rock cast in the sea. Once I came home every night, wishing I'd find you there. Now when I see your smiling face, my heart aches in despair. I'd love you for a nickel, give you everything for a dime. I'd love you for a nickel, give you everything for a dime. I don't mind the cost, I'm already lost. I left my good sense behind. If you'll only open up your eyes, open them into mine. Gee, but it's hard to love you, babe, when I know you don't love me. I've been mistrusted, heartbroken too, like a rock cast in the sea. Once I came home every night, wishing I'd find you there. Now when I see your smiling face, my heart aches in despair. Thank you.
I hope there is a reunion tour.
Maybe this is the preview.
Maybe. I hope so.
Is this our last? If this is the last song in our round, I just
I
want
think
to
so,
say
yeah.
thanks again to Club Pass Team and to
Yeah.
the Iguana Fund for allowing this to happen and supporting all these great projects. It's been great to hear about everybody else's, and yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you.
really appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
I was also thinking as Abby was talking and Matt was doing sound that $40,000 is the whole fund. That's a lot of money, and it's that Matt and Abby are so great, and it's so great that they're the arbiters of who gets that money. You know, like it's nice to. You guys are so good.
Who gets to distribute that money?
Yeah, but you like kind of a little do. Yeah, a little.
into silver bowls full of steam and rice. You fed me deeply twice when you said, "Sit, little star, there's a crowd in your hollow heart." Ooh, ooh, ooh. He loved the burning blue of chicory, how it bloomed on the highway's periphery and grew up brash and tall, petrochemicals and all, and her roots dried in ground taste like you harbor warm and bitter. And when the rain falls soft on the green, green moss, you come walking over the ridge in the back of my mind, and the clocks all rewind, and we can't help but smile then. No, we can't help but smile
Thank you.
Are we
So-
done?
I think we're done.
Yeah.
Oh, can I plug? Corey has a show, and Naomi has an album maybe coming out soon.
Oh yeah,
There's-
please
So,
talk,
like,
talk
please
about your
look up-
things. Yeah.
Look up Cloudbelly. Is it Cloudbelly the band?
Yeah.
And also Naomi Sommers. Is it Naomi Sommers Music or NaomiSommers.com?
NaomiSommers.com.
So people can find out more about what you're doing.
Thanks.
Yeah, but if Instagram is more accessible, then it's Naomi Sommers Music,
Yeah.
Lisa Bastoni, and Cloudbelly, the band. And if any of you live near Waltham and feel like going to a show on Thursday night, I'm playing the Second Shift series at the Charles River Museum, curated by Mark Arelli, this Thursday. So that's happening. That's my plug.
Good.
Corey Laitman, Naomi Sommers, Lisa Bastoni. Yeah. And you're calling it the Hilltop Songwriting Retreat? Is that? Yeah.
Hilltop House.
Oh my gosh. Walking away with my stage. Thank you. Well, that brings us to the end of our evening. I want to thank everyone in the room again. Thank you to those on the live stream. Thank you for tuning in. Just as a quick recap, a few takeaways. Music's awesome, right, guys? Like, this is so cool. You kind of get to see, like, the beginning steps of new music coming out into the world, and that's one of the best things about the Iguana Fund, is that we're able to take these small grants and put them out where they're going to do the most good in the community. So if you'd like to help support us, you can go to passim.org/iguana. You can make donations there that will go right into the fund for next year. You can check out every recipient that we've given grants to for our entire 14-year history. You can check out every act. Some you'll know and some you won't, and that's great. You get to discover some and then see some of your favorites that we were able to help along the way as well. Be sure to take home those programs that are on your tables. Check out all the artists that received grants this year. What we gave you tonight was just a taste of the things that we funded last year, because we've done the show where everyone comes up and it's too much. So thank you for joining us. Please apply if you're an artist. Remind your artist friends to apply. Applications are free, and they open every September 1st at the Passim website. Thank you all for coming out, and have a good night.